Scarcity. If you buy a product that says only 5 left in stock, only to later wonder why you bought a solar-powered torchlight, you've clearly fallen for the scarcity advertising trick. Using scarcity to advertise a product is as old as time. It works because people panic when they think something is running out, kind of like when Wi-Fi bars start dropping. It's like that moment when you realize there's only one slice of pizza left at a party. You weren't hungry 5 minutes ago, but now that slice is the most important thing in the room. And if you don't act fast, some other pizza poacher is going to claim it. This is exactly why brands love sprinkling words like limited edition or while supplies last on their products. Your brain goes into full-blown survival mode, as if you're not just shopping online, but competing in Hunger Games, Amazon edition. Suddenly, your fingers are hovering over the add to cart button like it's trying to do the cha-cha dance on it. Because apparently 5 minutes ago, you were totally unaware that you couldn't breathe without owning that limited edition blender. You see, scarcity creates urgency, and advertisers love making you feel like time is running out, even if they've got warehouses full of the stuff. And if we're being honest, it's a bit like getting that last-minute invite to an exclusive party. You had planned on a quiet night in, but now that everyone else is going and there's limited space, you're already looking for an outfit. Social proof. Let's say you're planning a trip to Hawaii, and you're scrolling through hotel options online to make reservations. Chances are you'll book a hotel with 5-star ratings and amazing reviews, because if a bunch of strangers on the internet loved it, it must be good. This is exactly how social proof works in advertising. It's when advertisers convince you that if everyone else is doing it, then you too should probably hop on board so that you'd not be left behind. The trick is as simple as slapping a big, shiny bestseller on a product or showing you that 10,000 people bought it. Suddenly, you're itching to buy that juicer when you've never made anything more complicated than toast. It's like the ultimate herd mentality at work, and you're the latest sheep to join the flock. The trick basically feeds off people's natural fear of missing out. That's why when you see a packed restaurant right next to an empty one, you're drawn to the one where getting a table is like winning the lottery. You don't even know what's on the menu, but because there's a crowd, you're convinced there must be something magical happening. Advertisers also use celebrities in social proof advertising, because if that A-list actor is using a specific brand of toothpaste, clearly it's the key to success, fame, and a perfect smile. Never mind that they're probably being paid more than your yearly salary to tell you that. Social proof is basically the adult version of peer pressure, except instead of trying to fit in with the cool kids in school, you're trying to fit in with the cool shoppers online. Reciprocity. Picture this. You're walking through the mall to get to the cereal section when someone hands you a free sample of hand lotion that you didn't ask for. Next thing you know, you're rubbing in that lavender-scented goodness, and suddenly you want to return the favor by buying the full bottle. Now, that's the reciprocity advertising trick in action. The advertiser would give you something small for free to put you in a psychological debt spiral. It's all about making you feel like you owe the company something because they gave you a little freebie. This trick is the "you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours" of advertising. Online streaming platforms are masters of this game. You've already happily subscribed to Netflix, living your best binge-watching life, when Prime Video slides into your inbox with a tantalizing 7-day free trial. They hook you with the latest show that everyone's talking about. Suddenly, you can't imagine life without it, and when the trial ends, they've got you reaching for your wallet faster than you can say auto-renew. However, the granddaddy of all reciprocity tricks still remains the classic buy one get one free deal. A free product is dangled before your eyes like a golden ticket, and before you know it, you're walking out of the store with 2 pairs of shoes you didn't need, all because your brain convinced you that the free second pair was a bargain you couldn't refuse. Anchoring. So you're scrolling through Amazon to find a purse under $30 because, well, your budget is tighter than your jeans after Thanksgiving. However, your search led you to a purse that is on sale for $60, slashed down from a whopping $100. You probably weren't planning on buying anything that expensive, but now that $60 purse is looking like the friendly budget option, and next thing you know, you've ordered the purse. Well, unfortunately for you, what you fell for is the anchoring trick, an advertising trick where an outrageous price is set on an item just to make the next option feel like it's a lot cheaper, even if it's still expensive. Online stores love using this trick more than cats love knocking things off tables. They'll cross out the higher price, like $50, and slap a $30 next to it as if they've just solved world hunger. But if it's a walk-in store, they would put a $2,000 luxury handbag close to a $200 handbag. So when you see the prices and items set up this way, your brain does a little happy dance, convinced the store is handing out unbeatable deals like candy at Halloween. Halloween. But it's all just a crafty mental trap designed to give you the illusion that you're saving money faster than a superhero saves the day. The Endowment Effect. If you go to a dealership to buy your dream car, you'd be handed the keys to the car to test drive it for a few hours. The reason why dealerships do this is that once you start imagining yourself cruising around town in that new car, it's no longer just an item, it's your future happiness and your ticket to epic road trips, all rolled into one shiny package. After driving the car back to the dealership, you're practically throwing your credit card at the sales rep, because in your mind, that car already belongs in your driveway. And just like that, you've been sucked into the Endowment Effect, an advertising trick that makes you feel a sense of ownership over a product before buying it, because you believe that when something is yours, it's worth more than gold. Advertisers love this trick because they know once you've had a taste, you're hooked. That's why they'll let you sleep on a mattress for 100 nights, or even take home a lamp for a week. They know the moment you've settled in and started imagining your life with that item, giving it back feels like letting go of a tiny piece of your soul. They've got you right where they want you. The Endowment Effect is also why yard sales are absolutely comedy gold. You look at your old stuff and think you can sell your bike helmet for $50 because it's been with you through some tough times. Meanwhile, buyers are staring at the old battered thing and offering $5 max. It's that emotional attachment that jacks up the price in your mind. Priming. Priming is the ultimate stealth mode in advertising, where brands plant subtle suggestions in your brain without you even realizing it, like a sneaky ninja making you think their ideas are your own. It's like they're setting the stage in your mind, getting you ready to make decisions that feel like your own, but they've been gently pushing you in that direction the whole time. Let's say you're watching a commercial that's filled with images of cozy blankets, fireplaces, and steaming mugs of hot chocolate. You don't even think much of it at the time, but later when you're browsing the store, suddenly that throw blanket you've been side-eyeing for months looks like the holy grail of comfort. The commercial didn't scream, "buy a blanket," but it subtly primed your brain to associate warmth and comfort with that cozy blanket. Now you're standing at the checkout, about to drop $50 on a blanket you didn't even know you needed. Talk about a plot twist. Priming works because your brain loves shortcuts, like a caffeine-addicted programmer craves energy drinks at 3 a.m. It's constantly trying to connect the dots, even when those dots are as invisible as a Batman at a midnight costume party. So advertisers use it to their advantage by throwing out images, sounds, words, and colors like they're planting seeds in your brain's garden. But instead of bearing fruits, you'd be getting triggers of certain thoughts or feelings that influence how you think, feel, and eventually act. Problem-solution framing. Let's say you're a baker, and all you've ever used to mix your cake batter is a simple hand mixer. But then you stumble upon a video of a professional baker effortlessly whipping up cake batter with a stand mixer that does all the work. No hands required. Suddenly, your trusty hand mixer feels like a relic, and you're already plotting its replacement. This is basically how problem-solution framing advertising works. But in this case, a brand would actually create a problem that you probably didn't know you had, or never even knew existed, and then swoop in like a superhero to offer their product as a solution. In this case, your old phone wasn't giving you any trouble, but Apple just framed it as an outdated relic. Now you're itching to upgrade because apparently your phone is one splash of water away from turning into a very expensive paperweight. The brilliance of this trick is that it makes you feel like you have to solve the problem, even though 5 minutes ago you didn't know it was a problem. It's like when someone tells you your shirt's wrinkled. You weren't bothered by it before, but now that you know, it's all you can think about until you iron it out. Advertisers are masters at this. They invent the problem, make sure you notice it, and before you know it, you're reaching for the wallet to buy the solution. The reason why problem-solution framing works so well is that people love solving problems, especially when the solution is handed to them on a silver platter. Personalization. Chances are you've received one of those emails followed by a cheeky, "we thought you'd love this." If yes, then you already have an experience of personalization advertising. In this type of advertising, companies would make you feel like their product or service is made just for you, like they know you better than your friends. So instead of receiving an email of just a random sale, you're getting an email that feels like it's been curated just for you. And if we're being honest, seeing your name on it can be pretty hard to resist, more so than a plate of fresh cookies. This extra little attention they give you can make you feel less like a random customer and more like the VIP they've been waiting for all along. Personalization advertisement is even more common and next level on social media. You could mention wanting a new coffee maker to a friend, and suddenly your Facebook and Instagram feed is filled with ads for the latest, trendiest coffee machines. It might feel like magic, but it is personalization algorithms working in the background, tailoring ads to your every need, want, or whim. They know what you've searched, liked, liked or even thought about, and they're here to serve it up on a silver platter. This advertising trick works because it taps into people's desire for connection, even with brands. So when an ad feels personal, it feels less like someone's trying to sell you something and more like they're giving you a gift made just for you. Foot in the door technique. Foot in the door technique is the advertising equivalent of allowing your friend to crash for a night and suddenly they're asking to stay for a week, but you can't say no because you already said yes once. The way advertisers use this trick is to offer you something small, like a free chocolate sample, to get their foot in the door. After you taste it and say how amazing it is, they'd ask you to buy a whole box for $29.99. You weren't planning on spending $30 on chocolate today, but since you already said yes to the sample, saying no now feels harder than turning down a puppy offering you its paw. Plus, you just told them you loved it, so you can't back out now. The idea behind this tricky advertisement is to get you to agree to a small request first, which increases the chances that you'll agree to a bigger request later. It's like agreeing to water your neighbor's plants, and suddenly you're also pet-sitting their iguana and filing their taxes. It's literally getting your foot in the door when you weren't planning to enter the room. The first ask is so small and reasonable you barely notice. But once that door's cracked open, the bigger request sneaks right in behind it, like a cat who spotted an open window. And because you've already committed to the first thing, your brain just keeps going, and so does your money. Repetition. Chances are, if you hear a song that you absolutely don't like on repeat, you might find yourself singing it in the shower later, wondering how it became your new guilty pleasure. Repetition marketing kinda works the same way. Brands would keep hammering the same message, slogan, or logo into your brain until you can't help but remember it, even if you didn't want to in the first place. Think of it as the jingle you didn't ask for, but now can't stop humming. The more times you hear or see something, the more familiar it becomes, and your brain loves familiarity. Advertisers are totally preying on this by making sure their products and services are everywhere you look. It's like they've got your eyeballs on a leash. Like logos, for instance. Brands splash their logos everywhere, on products, billboards, social media, commercials, until it feels like you've seen it 1,000 times. That's the point. After seeing a logo enough, you start to associate it with trust, quality, or whatever message they're trying to send. It's why you can instantly recognize a company's logo from just a few shapes or colors. That's not your brain being a genius, it's repetition doing its thing. Repetition isn't just about making you remember something, it's about making you comfortable with it and accepting it as truth, even if you didn't care about it at first. It's like that annoying little habit you pick up, but instead of biting your nails, you're buying that fancy gadget you never knew you needed. Storytelling. Storytelling in advertising is like pulling you into a mini movie where the product is the star, and you're emotionally hooked before you even realize it. This style of advertising does not directly sell the product, rather it sells a narrative that makes the product feel like a character in your life story. What this means is that instead of brands saying, "Here, buy this," they'd wrap the message in a story that you can relate to, making you feel like you need their product to complete the plot. This way, the ad would tap into your emotions, which would make it difficult for you to forget. The goal is to transform products into emotional experiences. It's the difference between selling someone a pair of sneakers and selling them the feeling of triumph after crossing a finish line. On social media, storytelling gets even more creative. Brands are busy crafting ongoing stories about their products, their customers, or even their core values. It's like binge watching your favorite series, except instead of cliffhangers, you get compelling reasons to buy that latest gadget. Some brands would even use funny and entertaining videos, so they're more likely to be shared, remembered, and associated with positive feelings.